This lesson is going to serve as the introductory lesson for architectural design specific to the pool house unit. So taking a look, we're going to first view the scope of the project. So this is going to tell the story of what you need to do. So basically you're going to be presented with a problem and you're going to have to come up with some possible design solutions. So to begin, while on vacation in California, Mr. Lemieux met some very interesting people, famous movie stars and musicians that he cannot name. While at dinner one night, they were talking about their respective professions, and the famous people could not believe what a cool job Mr. Lemieux had. Ironically, one of the famous people had just purchased a house in San Diego and was considering adding a pool house to their backyard. This famous person wants your class to come up with some potential design ideas. This famous person only has enough money to build a 625 square foot pool house, since their career is somewhat on skids, but would like the following rooms included: storage room, sitting room, a kitchen, and this must be a galley style kitchen, and a bathroom. So your drawing requirements, you need to complete 5 different things here. So number 1, a bubble diagram, a minimum of 3. We'll talk about what bubble diagrams are as well in a moment. Number 2 is a sketch on graph paper to scale. Our scale used will be 1/4 inch equals a square foot. In other words, 1 grid space equals 1 square foot, depending on the size of grid paper you're using. Number 3, floor plan on AutoCAD. Include all kitchen appliances, countertops, and bathroom fixtures. 4 is a roof plan, and 5 is elevations with hatching, showing the foundation and footings, northeast, southwest perspectives. And that's all that's included on this sheet. Now, let's take a look at what a galley style kitchen looks like. So I've already done a couple of Google searches, so we'll click the galley first. So a galley kitchen. Here's the description. A galley kitchen is a long, narrow kitchen that has base cabinets, wall cabinets, counters, or other services located on one or both sides of a central walkway. The countertops can be interspersed with appliances like fridges, sinks, cabinetry, and other functional items. You can get a better, clear understanding of this if you click to, when you do this search yourself, you can click to images and you can click on and look at various examples of galley style kitchens, and you're going to find that the images that you see are going to reflect that description I just read quite well. A lot of the images you're going to pick to look at are going to be long and narrow kitchens, and you're going to see that usable space on both sides. They do not include room to include any islands. They can't be U-shaped. They're basically just long, narrow kitchens. Kind of like, think of a bowling alley, right? What does a bowling alley look like, right? That lane where you throw the ball. Again, it's long and narrow, right? So galley sort of borrows its name from alley, right? That's how you can remember that. Some walkways are wider than others, which is okay, and some can be quite narrow. But you're going to find that there is a common theme. All very similar, but a little bit different. So I think you get the point on what a galley kitchen is. I'm going to click on this picture again. I like this one because it actually has the range at the very end. So you can also have counter space where the kitchen ends, where this window is here. This one also shows a little bit of counter space here, the large fridge, and this is possibly a doorway to exit the house. All right, so now that we understand what a galley kitchen is, that was step number 2 after understanding the scope of the project. Number 3 is how to get started with preliminary designs. We're going to be taking a look at the bubble diagrams. So this is how you're going to get started with your preliminary brainstorming. We're going to be creating at least 3 bubble diagrams. That's 3 different possible design solutions for the pool house. Now, the reason we're selecting a minimum of 3, and you can make as many as you'd like, but a designer just does not come up with one solution and run with that. A designer would come up with a few, at least, solutions, and then select what they think is the best to suit the client needs. And that's in anything in design. So you're going to have to create at least 3 different bubble diagrams. Now, a bubble diagram, another Google search. Bubble diagrams are circles or ovals drawn on a sheet of paper. These diagrams help the architect identify the location of the rooms to be included in the floor plan for a home or commercial building. They start with the first floor and work their way up from there. So we know that we're only going to have 1 floor on the pool house. And we also know that we're only going to have 4 rooms. We're not going to have any more rooms than what you see here. We're not going to have any less. The client has asked for this, so we have to give the client what they want. So clicking back in the bubble diagrams, let's take a look at images. And there's various examples of bubble diagrams here that you can look at, right? This one here is a very basic one, but that's really all you need. It doesn't have to be fancy. You see a lot of these fancy ones here with color, and you don't really need any of that. I don't expect you to color your bubble diagrams. I just expect you to get a sheet of paper and a pencil and start sketching these things. Now, this one here has way more than we need, right? It has bedrooms, it has walk-in closet, it has stairs, it has entry. We only are going to have 4, right? And none of these really well represent what could be a galley kitchen, right? A galley kitchen would be a long, narrow bubble. You should really try to sketch the bubble in the shape of how you want the room to look, right? And these bubble diagrams, they're not to any scale, right? You're just sketching this on paper. But the size of the bubble should indicate a larger room. So basically, if you want to have a larger room, you draw a larger bubble. If you're going to have a smaller room, you draw a smaller bubble, right? And you can try to make the shape of the bubble be similar to how you want the room to look, right? That's best case scenario. So let's go back to the hub. Let's go back 1 and go to the next submodule called bubble diagrams. And I uploaded an example. Here we go, bubble diagrams exemplar. This is something a student created in grade 11 so many years ago when we did a small house design. So we were including way more rooms in this design. So again, this is way more than we need, but these bubble diagrams, the way that this student had drawn them were excellent. How basically, right, a smaller one would represent a closet, a larger one would represent a bedroom. Again, keeping in mind we're not having those items in our pool house. We're only going to be having 4 bubbles in each design solution. So you're coming up with at least 3 of these, and you're only going to be having 4 bubbles. Now, a galley kitchen may look similar to what you see as a living room shaped bubble or a hallway shaped bubble, right? Because we know the galley kitchen has to be long and narrow. And then the other 3 rooms, your bathroom, your sitting room, and your storage room, they can basically be any shape you want as per the bubble. But again, I think you just need to keep these things simple. You don't need to draw the bubble really fancy. The only bubble that should really be different should be the way that the galley kitchen bubble looks, because we know that a galley kitchen has to be long and narrow. That we know. Your bathroom would probably be drawn as a smaller bubble. Think about that. A bathroom is not super large, right? The large bubbles would typically be your sitting room and your storage room. But again, it's up to you how large you want to make that storage room. It's up to you how large you want to make that sitting room. I would really keep the bathroom small, and I would really keep the galley kitchen along a narrow bubble. So I said it too many times, but I just want to kind of help get the point across. And this is something that you can look at on your own, various examples. You can see that it's the same rooms over and over again in each set. But this is what designers do. They come up with several solutions before they select one. So once you've selected at least, if you've created at least 3 bubble diagrams and you've selected the one that you want to turn into a rough plan, that's what we're going to be doing the next time we talk, is create a rough plan on grid paper of your pool house. So that was kind of a mouthful of information. But let's click back into this module here. And this description I've written, we'll talk more about this in the next lesson. But for now, you're free to start to work on these bubble diagrams, and that is your task for today. And then we'll talk soon. Take care for now, and good luck.